Hey, we're here. We just got done with Saturday night, man. Fight night. It was a great event. I hope you tuned in and checked it out if didn't already come out to watch the event. We had 12 amazing fights there on the card and pretty much everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
You know, knockouts, you know, technical knockouts, referee stoppages, you know, a lot of things that happened. Some controversy went on all throughout the
So much
night
controversy,
as well.
yeah. The craziest stuff I've ever seen, truthfully, for an MMA event and amateurs especially, yeah. It was wild.
Just some amazing things, you know, 12 fights, but yet 11 winners in the end, as one ended up deeming a no contest. And we had a 13th fight on tap, 2 fighters in the cage, but unfortunately didn't get started simply because the guy hurt himself before a first punch was even thrown, before they were announced. You know, I guess, you know, handstands aren't recommended.
I can't do it, you know, so, you know what I mean? More power to you if you can do it, but, you know, I don't know how many times he's practiced that in the ring. But yeah.
It's tough stuff, but you know, hopefully everybody that came out enjoyed themselves. We know we did on our end. You know, a lot of fighters really kind of rose to the top and showed us their capabilities. A lot of unexpected underdogs, I think, that kind of came through that we didn't know much about. That are definitely on the map now. We know them now, for sure, and we'll see them again. They'll be back on some future RIZE cards. We have the 155 tournament going on in there as well. We got 3 winners of that so far that are moving on to the semifinals. We'll see a 4th winner next month come through, and we'll move into the semis, eventually the finals. And we had you know, a brand new champion here with RIZE as well at 155. Our new 155-pound lightweight champion is Jose Gallegos, and congratulations go out to him for his efforts and his amazing fight and what he was able to do to dominate to get that win. So what we got right now, we have one of our fighters from the card this past Saturday night here with us as a guest. He's here via Zoom. We're going to bring him on here right now because I know he's been waiting for quite some time backstage. And that is Danny Castillo, who beat Jamari McNichols there this past Saturday night. And I got to put my headphone in here. Dude, you got yours in?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so we're bringing Danny in now. Danny, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, doing all right, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That was a great fight, man. Definitely one of the top fights of the night. A lot of activity back and forth there, and you came out victorious.
Thank you. Yeah, man, this guy was amazing, man. And especially for like that last second fight like that to just come up and put on a show, that was awesome.
I know, Dave, you got a few questions for Danny.
Yeah. So it looked like you had some pretty good cardio going in there. You felt super trained for that fight?
Yeah, cardio wise, I think that's my main thing, man. I love cardio. I try to go out there, try to outlast anybody I can, run a lot. I was actually running from work and home every day. It's like an 8-mile run. So that was my little daily thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. People don't realize how much determination and dedication it takes for these fights. And like you said, Jamari was pretty game, and you guys were exchanging a bunch. And I can't wait to get to see the count on how many points landed for both of you guys.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for that. I know me and him, there was a point there we were just swinging. So
yeah, I would say that was probably the fight of the night, in my opinion. That's
awesome, man. Glad to hear that.
So what's on your horizon next?
Man, honestly, I got a little hurt, a little light hairline fracture there. As soon as I recovered, definitely want to go back out there and show everybody else what I'm capable of.
Sick, bro. So you probably can't be on our next card, but maybe the one after that.
Definitely. I mean, that's the goal. If everything comes out good and the healing goes good, you're definitely gonna catch me out there again.
Yeah, I would love to step up your next level too. To see who's able to keep up with you.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I had a lot of fun. I know my friends and family, everybody that went out there, they were going crazy. So, I
felt like half the place was your family, huh? Like everyone knew you.
Yeah, man. A lot of friends came out there. Man, honestly, I'm telling you, if it's not for everybody that always goes out there and comes out to watch me and everything, I wouldn't even think about doing this.
Sick, bro.
So, yeah, I mean, Danny, obviously you mentioned, you know, all that road work that you did kind of preparing here for the fight on Saturday night. What else? I mean, how much time were you spending in the gym, and what was your focus while in training?
Oh, man. So I actually wasn't going to fight Jamari at first. I had a different opponent. So he was more of like he's a kickboxer, which is what we saw. And that was basically like our camp was about my cardio, trying to get my reach in there some more, because I know he was a little shorter. I was going to the gym. I'll say I'll get out of work like at 2 or 3, and then I was there at 5 to like 10. We were there for hours, and that was my drill every day. I had my coaches, man, Jeff and MAU up here in Cape Coral. Man, he made sure he wanted that cardio in there. That was his main thing, and thank God he did.
Yeah. Good stuff. And as you said, and so for the people that didn't catch that early on, so your original opponent was Eric Lopez, and unfortunately, he had a little problem with his weight cut. Weighed in fine, and then had a little dehydration issue, so couldn't go on Saturday. So we did find a great replacement. We put on a pretty good show up against you in Jamari. And so let's talk a little bit about the fight itself. As the rounds wound on, I mean, you didn't know much about your opponent, obviously, going into it because you're preparing for somebody else, as you said. What surprised you about what Jamari's capabilities were?
Oh my God, Jamari, man, he surprised me. I think all around completely. Like, at first look, you look at him and he's a cool kid, man. He was there. He was just so excited to fight, and I was like, man, let's do this. Let's go out there. And I remember going out there, we were exchanging a little bit. And I remember when he grappled me, he gave me a slam, but he literally threw me on my neck. And I was like, I think in that moment, I was like, man, this kid is strong.
I remember that.
I was not expecting him to have that much strength, man. He just picked me up. And I was like, wow. So that was definitely a big surprise there. It was just in his strength. He didn't look like he was going to be that strong.
Right.
Saw that.
He's been doing that, each and every fight that he's had here for RIZE. He seems to surprise us just a little bit more each time, right? Right. We called him, we were referring to him at the commentator booth. He's a little bit wiry of a guy. That's the best way I think to describe him. He knows how to use that reach to his advantage, and it's amazing how wiry he can get. You know,
yeah.
He does a couple of close rounds early on, and like we said, I think it just ended up being that he gassed out a little towards the end. And Danny, I guess it was that road work, my friend, that probably helped come through in the end to give you that stamina to win it towards the late part of the third round. But it was a great fight, great third round in specific. And congratulations definitely goes out to you for all that hard work.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
You want to give any shout outs while you're on here?
Well, definitely shout out today is my mother's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Definitely. Thank you to her. And obviously to my family, my team, especially my girlfriend, who without her motivating me and encouraging me to go train as well, it wouldn't have happened. And definitely big thank you to RIZE for letting me come out and fight, do a little performance there.
Sure. Awesome, I know that you mentioned earlier on you had a fractured rib, or you believe it's fractured. And I know there's nothing you can do about fractured ribs. Okay, yeah, I know there's nothing you can do about those. You just have to wait for them to heal on their own, right?
Yeah, they just wanted me to ice it. Ice it, give it some time, little breathing exercises, and the tournament should be good in like a couple of weeks. Okay. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, so I was going to ask how many weeks they thought it would take. So, a couple of weeks or so. All right, and then you'll get back in the gym and you'll be ready probably for a November card. Yeah,
I mean, hey, if I'm feeling good, I'm telling you, you're going to see me a lot.
Okay. Well, we look forward to it. As we said, it was a great fight, so we definitely want to see more of you.
Definitely.
And we appreciate you coming over to the RIZE umbrella and fighting for us.
Definitely.
And look, man, feel better, heal up as quick as you can, and
thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll have you back on the show again sometime before November.
We'll do. Sure. Definitely, we'll do. Whenever you guys want, Danny. Just hit me up.
Thanks, bro.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye. Great fight, as you said. It could potentially have been the fight of the night.
Right.
It really was an amazing match all the way through. And
it definitely was one of my favorite fights for sure. Can't wait to rewatch it.
Yeah, crowd pleaser. I mean, they definitely had some cheering going on around, and people were surprised the way that he got dropped like that, and it was we were a little kind of nervous for an injury that could potentially happen. The way he
felt like we're like reliving the Inman fight, with LJ, with that kind of slam.
Yes.
But he recovered great too, and came through in the clutch at the end. So
yep,
it's crazy. A lot of it's all about cardio, you know. You put in those extra hours in the gym, when no one's really paying attention, you know. I mean, it really adds up.
And I think, like I said, the stamina side of things, you know, the fact that he was able to run as much as he did, like you said, I think that all came through. Just all you need is a little bit of an edge, you know, towards the end, and I think he was able to be successful.
Well, some solid hand speed. Like, I don't know how many times he connected, and same thing with Jamari, but like, I can't wait to even just try to count that up to see statistically, you know, what kind of contact did they happen in that fight.
Right, yeah, for sure. I want to see it back too. I started watching a little bit of it, the raw footage, but I only got through like the first 3 fights, and I saw me throw my pen down when that one fight didn't happen. I didn't realize I did that in disgust. And you know, if you guys didn't catch that, we mentioned a little bit earlier on, guy tried to do a handstand in the cage and injured himself. You know, while the other fighter was coming in, they never actually got the fight off.
Was it a handstand push-up or something? I don't know what he was trying to do.
He was handstanding. His feet were up against the side.
Yeah.
I think he slipped because it was a little bit slick against the material, and that just popped his shoulder out or something. And
Right.
we saw the ref or the doctor come in and just sort of wave the whole thing off. And threw my pen down. I'm like, man.
I gotta rewatch that. I can't wait till it's all completed.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see it for sure. And you know, you will be able to check out these fights on that RIZE X through the RIZE FC app. So you can go to it now. There are some things you can be able to see now, and then see fight by fight as well as the whole thing becomes edited. So if you missed it, you missed a good one. And you definitely want to come out and catch the next one, October 23rd, right back there at Xtreme Action Park. Cards already filled up. It's already ready to go. Fighters are getting prepared. Some of the fighters we just saw on Saturday night will be returning back on this card again. Those who are healthy enough to do so and that are ready. And you will see a little bit more into that lightweight tournament as well of 155. And we're going to get into all the winners and everything else about the excitement of all the fights here in a little while. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to show you our app one more time so you know how to download and check it out. And on the flip side, we'll get back into the card a little bit more. We'll see you in a minute.
Jason, the article. Oh! Are excited and ready for the second bout of RIZE.
All right, and welcome back. Hopefully you got a chance to check out that app real quick. Again, if you have not ever downloaded the app, you want to do so. This is the only way you can purchase tickets. This is the only way that you can watch the fight if, in fact, you cannot come out and watch it. Besides, we got Roku. We got the, you can jump on the App Store and check out the app. But we got Roku and Fire Stick, and I'm missing one. Something else, man.
It's something. You can stream it. You can stream it.
You can do a few things, but the best way to go.
Apple Store right now.
Yeah, so the Apple Store and then the Google Play Store and so forth. But it's Roku, Apple, so forth and so on. Several ways. But the best way to do it, of course, is to go right to the app. RIZE FC. Check that out. RIZE X is what you click on when you get to the app. You can see that. In addition to, you can see all the things going on with some of the fighters themselves. You can apply to be a fighter if you want to try to fight on a future RIZE card. Right now I think you got more fighters than you can handle.
Quite a bit.
But if you're a superstar and you got something to prove, show us what you got. David also has a handle there on Facebook, and you can jump on that through RIZE FC, amateur and professional fighters, and you can send some fight tape in that way. So several ways that you can apply to be a fighter, as well as a cage girl. We had a couple of new faces as cage girls this time around, and if you want to show what you can do there, you can always apply that way as well. So get into the fight card itself. So again, we had 15 fights slated as the night began.
Right.
Unfortunately, one person suffered dehydration in the back. That fight didn't go. We had one fight that I mentioned. The guy unfortunately popped out a shoulder, and that one didn't go. But another opponent actually, I think, had an eye injury prior to. So we found that, I think, weigh-ins the night before. It was just on the card. But 12 fights that did go. And out of those 12 fights, we had 11 winners. As I mentioned, that first fight ended up in a no contest. It was just, based upon the rules. It was misinterpreted one way versus another between the fighters. And, we ended up with a no contest. But it was a great fight.
Yeah.
So we don't want to take anything away from these guys. And I want to make sure we mention their names. Remy Lascano and Camille Meller Both these guys put on a great performance. Camille was definitely controlling, I think, those first couple of rounds.
Right.
And then Remy came back with a great knockdown.
Yeah.
And that's what sort of set forward the motions of the no contest. But, congratulations to both of them on a great performance and a great fight. As far as the winners of the night, I'm going to go through their names right here, and then we'll go back and break them down. We had Nick Sanchez, Jordana Matamoros, Mihai Kulai, CJ Brandt, of course, Danny Castillo, who was just with us a minute ago, John O'Wood, Stefan Pineda, Ryan Ocasio, Jack Willoughby, Lucas Rosa, and our new champion, Jose Gallegos. All these guys put on a great performance, as well as a lot of their opponents. As we said, knockouts, knockdowns, we saw it all. We got everything you can imagine. So let's jump to the fights, David. Let's see what you remember about some of these fights. Let's go with Nick Sanchez and Brian Burke-Pike.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Burke-Pike, he definitely he looked a little heavier as far as just his stature because he's just not as tall as Nick. He did a couple. I don't know. Nick had a pretty dominant performance, truthfully. I mean, Brian did the best he could. You could tell he was trying to defend himself as far as the grappling aspects and whatever transpired. But Nick definitely had his way, and I believe he finished in the first round, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it was a submission. Yeah. Brian was throwing those haymakers. That's what I remember early on.
That's the thing,
Swinging for the fences.
It's very, it takes a lot, it takes a lot to swing a haymaker, and it takes even more to swing a haymaker and miss. If you do that a few times, you're gonna get winded. It's like swinging a bat. It's a bad idea. You want to conserve your energy. So,
right.
Hopefully he takes it back to the drawing boards. I think that was his second fight. He'll get better, and hopefully we can have him back, and hopefully we can have Chris back too. Yeah, for sure. It'd be nice to see that. And we want to jump to the ladies that first arrived. The first female fight we had, Naomi Arellano and Jordana Matamoros. Yeah, that was a banger. Yeah, they were definitely throwing hands pretty good. Naomi looked even more improved than ever, and Jordana was, just very, very clean boxing. Right. And apparently she does wrestling too, and you could tell she just has an athletic build. So I really, really enjoyed that fight, and looking forward to watching it again. Yeah, like you said, I mean, Naomi came just that close. Even closer fight for her than the first time around. We want to see her back because I know there's no question she's going to have some victories. Yeah. The way that she fights with Jordana, that's that side of things. What surprised us was she started out in an orthodox position, and then she quickly changed over to southpaw. And we asked her about that later on. She stated that she's naturally an orthodox, but because of an injury, she had to go southpaw. So she was doing everything on an unnatural stance, and yet she was landing some heavy shots. So I think Danielle had mentioned, if she can do that, on an unnatural stance, what can she do when she's naturally standing? Right. So we definitely want to see more of Jordana as she comes back and continues on with her career. But congratulations to her on her debut fight and the win. And of course, that was in kickboxing, and we'll see more of her, no doubt. Then we jump to, let's jump to our tournament a little bit. I'll jump around. We had the 155-pound lightweight tournament, as we mentioned. This was the quarterfinals. We had 3 fights there out of the 4 that we have in total for the quarters. And we have 3 winners that were victorious, the first of whom for the night was Mihai Kulai. And he took on Darian Perez, and Mihai was able to win with a submission as Darian had to tap out. So what do you remember about that fight? Just dominant performance by Mihai. Darian Perez looks super stout and looks like a solid tank, like LJ kind of deal. Like just you can tell, just nothing but fitness. And Mihai just had his way, and you could tell that he's just a really great grappler, and it showed the whole fight. I don't think Darian threw a few punches only, maybe 1 or 2. I mean, I remember it was super dominant. Yeah, that's for sure. And we had our second tournament fight was Stefan Pineda, victorious over Avihai Kaniel, I think was how do you pronounce his name. And that was the quickest finish of the night. Yeah. That was a TKO in 19 seconds. Yeah. As it was stopped. So what do you remember about the quick 19 seconds? I just feel like there's just different levels to coaching, on that one. It's just, you could tell that I don't feel like, what's the gentleman's last name again? Which one? Who lost again? Avihai Kaniel. Avihai, I mean, he needs to hit the drawing board and gets a little more preparation before he comes back in the ring because, you know, it was just too fast, too you know, overwhelming to have someone with that much experience, you know, and it showed.
Right. And then you had the third victor of the night for the tournament was Jack Willoughby beating Tim Riley.
I watched that video 2 or 3 times today just to try to figure out still what was going on, and I need to see a clearer video. So, you know, when we have the edited version, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, I spoke to Jack about it afterwards too, and you know, he said it's so clean that he said he was going to break the dude's arm, and you know, the ref noticed that was great for him, and it was a 90-degree angle, and it was going to snap, so that's why it stopped so quickly. But you know, we don't have instant replay technology right now currently, so
yes.
We definitely should invest in that, because that was definitely instant replay worthy, you know, to recap it.
Yeah, I know, you know, Tim, you know, jumped up and he didn't think that he was really in any danger, but, you know, most fighters don't recognize that they are, even if they are.
Right.
And, you know, he was disputing that quite a bit, you
right.
know, with the ref. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, hopefully Tim can come back and fight for us again and prove himself.
He's actually scheduled already for October 23rd.
Okay, so
yeah.
he's coming right back. You know,
yeah.
no injury, quick fight, so he might as well. He can put in more time for sure. He didn't put in enough on Saturday, right? But congratulations to Jack. So, again, Jack, Mihai, and Stefan all moving on to the semifinals now for the 155 tournament, and they will be trying to contest against the new champion. We might as well jump to the championship fight, but we'll go back to the rest since we're in that same category. So the new champion at 155, Jose Gallegos, putting on a great performance against LJ Wilson. The
right.
two of them, just amazing fighters. Tell me, it was a lot to take away from that fight. So what do you remember? What can you discuss with us?
I just think it's amazing that Jose was so dominant when a lot of times he was in the LJ's corner with such experienced coaching. You know, like I personally were pretty close to them, so I can personally hear their corners telling them to do the right things. But Jose was so dominant that he couldn't do it, you know?
Right.
So, you know, you could just tell that he's next level, and that's why he's going to go pro his next fight, as he said, if hopefully with us, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, we'll see if we can squeeze in one more amateur bout, then maybe he can defend the belt. But, you know, by that time, he may already be pro.
Yeah, I think he already has 11 or 12 fights. 12 fights is 12 fights, so.
Okay.
I think he's ready to get paid.
He's ready to move on and make that money.
Yeah.
I get it. You can't blame him, right?
I don't blame him.
But, yeah, what I remember about that is, you know, LJ has always proven to us that he's a very, very strong, solid fighter.
Right.
And he, you know, proved that once again with the capabilities he had, of course, Saturday night. Jose being able just to stand up the way that he did
yeah.
and pull LJ's weight up with him when he did it
right.
Just shows that Jose's also got that strength
right.
and maybe just a slight bit more, at least he did on Saturday night, and had that capability of just edging out LJ.
Yeah, I actually ran into LJ in the parking lot, and you know, he just said that he's going to come back even stronger than before, which will be a scary thing.
That would be a scary thing.
So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, we want to get LJ back to the winning ways that we're accustomed to seeing, because you know he's a crowd favorite as well. You know, everybody's enjoying seeing him. That's why he made it out to the championship fight. I mean, he was deserving of that title opportunity. And you know, as things come around, Jose moves on to the pros. LJ will be right back in the mix again to potentially fight for the belt once again.
Yeah, you don't really lose, you learn, you know, and that's why I tell all amateurs that they should test themselves, because it's better to learn in amateurs than learn in pro, you know, then it sticks with you forever. You could be, you know, 0-10 in amateurs and then be undefeated in pro and no one will even know.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep at it and test yourself.
So we once again congratulate both the fighters, especially as it relates to Jose Gallegos being our new champion, holding the belt up high and proud at the end of the night. So we're just going to jump into just you know, quickly with the winners. We had CJ Brandt taking out Andy Hernandez, and CJ came out on top with a TKO victory as well. Mm-hmm. Just quickly, what do you remember about that bout?
Violence, a lot of violence, a lot of. Andy looked like his striking definitely improved a lot, and they were going at it toe to toe. And CJ came out on top, but it was almost any man's game, I would say, for the majority of that fight.
Right, and I know we discussed Danny Castillo's win over Jamari already with Danny a little while ago, and so now we move on to, you know, we had a pretty good fan favorite, Ludi Alves. Unfortunately, she got upset by Jonna Wood, you know, who was just too much for her that night. So let's talk about the abilities of Jonna Wood and what she was capable of doing that night.
Well, I mean, Jonna, you could just tell that she trains all the time with her coach, and they're just consistently working to get better. And you know, I mean, like I said, she physically is pretty stout. You know, even cutting down to 115, her arms are just, like I said, almost as big as mine. She's not a small girl for 115, and you could tell. And she put that pace on Ludi, and You know, she won by a decision, but it was a dominant decision. So you can tell they've worked really hard for that.
Right, and again, taking nothing away from Ludi, you know, we like to see her back again. I know we will, you know, very, very soon. And it just wasn't her night that particular night.
Yeah.
But it also gives a lot of credit to Jonna Wood from taking out somebody like Ludi, who we think is a great fighter.
Right.
So congratulations to Jonna, and we hope we see you back as well. Then we've got Ryan Acasio. He took on Joey Rutherford, and Ryan put on a pretty dominant performance himself en route to a unanimous decision shutout, I think, at this point. You know, what did you see about Ryan's abilities that kind of surprised you?
You know, I didn't see him get a finish, you know, and I felt like that, and a lot of opportunities were there for the finish. So it just shows how strong Joey is to be able to hang on and do what he had to do versus such a dominant wrestler. So, you know, I'm sure it's going to be one thing they work on in their camp is to try to work on ending fights, you know. And there's a lot of wrestlers that do that to get into certain great positions like on top and full mount and other things of that nature, but not end a fight, you know, and you got to be able to finish, you know.
Right.
I like to watch the Dana Contender series, and he doesn't even give out contracts unless you finish the fight. You know, you might win all day decisions. You know, it's all about finishing.
Right, yeah, you want to see dominance. I guess that's what he's looking for. You know, I guess a lot of the fans feel the same way about some of it, but if it's an exciting fight all the way through, nothing takes away from that either. So finally, the last winner of the night that we did not yet mention was that rematch we had between Israel Hernandez and Lucas Rosa. You know, we talked about that for quite some time. We had the, you know, the Wanna Fight episode with these two guys. Great interview that you did with these two guys as well. And Lucas coming out on top of that kickboxing match, the initial match, and now winning that MMA bout in the rematch as well. So let's talk about that one a little bit. You know, what did you see that maybe surprised you in that fight? What you didn't see that you thought you should have seen or expected to see?
Yeah, it's just same thing, kind of almost exactly like Ryan Acasio, that these guys are really dominant wrestlers, you know, and his striking's pretty good, but he's relying on his wrestling, which is his go-to, and he's working on finishing, you know, like I was listening to Lucas's corners, just, you know, telling him what to do, and, you know, it's all a learning process, so, you know, it's only his second MMA fight, and he's you know, handling it in that fashion, doing really nice transitions, but, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him. If he could put it together with some serious ground and pound, you know, it's going to be an unstoppable force.
Yeah, for sure. You know, congratulations once again to both the fighters, especially Lucas, getting yet another win. So that's 3 wins, I think, under the RIZE umbrella at this point, right?
Right.
He's ready to move on, and I know we'll have him back on, you know, on the next 2 cards again, very, very soon. So congratulations to all the winners of the night. We do want to also thank a couple of our sponsors really quickly. One is Pharmacana. You know, thank you once again for all your support. And also DV8. And on that note, what we want to do is just give you a quick commercial break here with DV8 for all of your needs. Feel free to contact them and they'll help you out. We'll see you back on the other side of that. Just 1 minute.
This is Kerry from DV8 Motorsports. I want to welcome you to our world and give you a little insight into what we do. From the lift kits, lowering kits, custom wheels and tires, gas, diesel, performance, and accessories. We do it all here in-house. All of our services we offer, we install everything. Come follow us on social media, Facebook or Instagram, deviate_motorsports. Take a look at what we do, what we have to offer. We're located at 1018 North Federal Highway in Lake Park, US 1, just south of North Lake Boulevard, or you can give us a call, 561-840-2023, or shoot us an email, deviatemotorsports@yahoo.com. Thanks.
All right, we are back. So once again, we thank DV8 and Pharmacana for all their support as our sponsors. And we just covered the whole fight card, so hopefully you caught that, because we're not going to repeat it. Right. And congratulations to all the winners, all the fighters for the night. Really, you put on a great show. We appreciate everything that you've done for us and all the training and hard work that you've put into it, especially those who put so much work in and couldn't actually fight that night, too. And there are a few of you, Lester Santana in mind as well as the other ones that we spoke about. Want to make sure we mention his name before the show is out. So that was our fight card. Again, the next one, October 23rd, right back there at Xtreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale. We'll put on another great event. How many fights do you think we have slated for that one at this point in time?
I'd say maybe 12 to 15.
Okay, so we're right back at the same.
No, I mean, honestly, I shoot for 15, we'll probably land at 12.
Okay, so same thing. We'll be looking at a repeat probably of this last card, which was very exciting. So, you know, we want to have you guys come out there if you haven't made it out before. If not, once again, just download the app. You've seen the commercial a couple times and heard me say it 1.5 million times. just jump on that. You know, RIZE FC, RIZE X is where you click on it to purchase tickets to the event, also where you can watch live stream that night in addition to Roku and Apple TV. So that being said, it's out of the way, so it's like a load off now?
Yeah.
Everybody can take a breather for a couple days anyway?
Not at all, actually. I'm already back to work on Sunday, man. It's honestly, it's very, very tiring. So I'm ready to take a nap just from just the talking of this and then thinking about matchups. There's a lot going on, so I'm excited to see the next one. Honestly, it's already looking forward.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, 23rd is not too far away.
No, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. So hopefully you guys will make it out if you have, and you're missing some good action if you're not. So hey, look, that's our fight card. We can move on from that. You know, we've had a pretty long show so far. We're gonna briefly go through our recap of what's been going on in the world of other sports.
Yeah.
We can jump right to the NFL because
yeah,
you know, we're just talking about what happened with these quarterbacks, David.
Man,
4 starting quarterbacks injured this past weekend. We got Gerardo shaking his head over there because he knows.
Gerardo's gonna beat me up. But yeah. What a terrible decision Dolphins did with Tua, man. Gosh, it's already a tank year. We got the worst beating since 1966. Our opening game.
At home, yeah.
At home.
Yeah, 35-0.
Yeah.
That wasn't pretty. No,
I had friends going, you know. I felt like, you know, I'd rather be at a dentist appointment than at that game, sitting there getting whooped up on, you know.
And you got to say, obviously, you know, Tua went down with some rib injuries.
Surprising, rib injury, Tua.
Yeah.
I never seen that one coming with my crystal ball. You know, he didn't get injured in college. We didn't waste draft picks on him. I was just talking to G over here. He's telling me it's our offensive line fault. But if instead of buying Tua, we should have just got another offensive lineman, and he probably would be, you know, protecting a better quarterback at this time. You know, but there's always next year.
That's what you're gonna say next year too. Yeah. But you know, that was the thought process. I was just gonna say the same. That, you know, you saw Tua go down. He had like 3 sacks within the first 5 minutes of the game. Beyond that, though, you know, when Brissett jumped in, former Gator. Of course, I have to keep mentioning he's a former Gator. He was a pretty good star in Florida. He had 3 sacks consecutive plays. I mean, look, it comes down to the offensive line. It really does. You know, yes. You know, you have to have some more movement from your quarterbacks.
Right.
You have to be a little more elusive.
Right.
You have to, you know, predict and prepare for what's going to happen. But maybe Tua, having played at Alabama, that always had one of the strongest offensive lines in all of college football, he just wasn't ready for it, wasn't used to it. So you always got to put a quarterback in the right conditions that I think he's more comfortable with if you're expecting him to repeat what you thought he did beforehand. And in this case, that's not what the Dolphins did for him.
It's like Tannehill. Like, you can't just build a team around a quarterback that's not super elite.
Right.
You know? Like, if it was Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, oh, great, it's Aaron Rodgers. Do what he says because, you know, Tom Brady, sure, but let's just get Tua's best friend on the team because they used to go to college together, you know? There's a good connection, but it's not an NFL connection. It's not Devontae Adams to Roger, you know, to Aaron Rodgers or something like that, you know? It's not a Randy Moss to Tom Brady at the time. You know, it's just... It's subpar, and we're a subpar team, and I hate it, and I called it, and it's terrible.
We'll say, so what's interesting is we talked about this, and I think it was Teddy Bridgewater, right? That is the starting quarterback in Houston, right? If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm mixing that up, isn't he? Whoever the Houston starting quarterback is, he's down too. He's out, but they're not.
I believe that was Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
Okay, that's right.
Bridgewater, I think, is at where's Bridgewater? He's in Denver, I think, right?
Oh, maybe that's where he is. I know he's starting somewhere.
In Denver? I think he's in Denver.
Okay. So Tyrod Taylor is the one who got injured for Houston, but they said they are not bringing in Watson to replace him next week. So I don't know who they're bringing in. But what's interesting with Watson is that, you know, they're saying if Tua is going to take some time to heal up, they're still trying to make a move and try to get Watson down to Miami. So it remains to be seen if that's what they end up
Miami
doing.
Great again. That's all I got to say.
We'll see if that happens. So the other guys who got injured, you had Andy Dalton got injured up there in Chicago, right?
Yep.
And so he's going to be out for quite some time. And Carson Wentz also went down.
Yeah.
So wow, I mean, you know, and you got to figure out who's where, right? Because you got to remember that you know, L.A. Rams and the Detroit Lions made a switch pre-season, you know, well, off-season, I should say. So you got each of their starting quarterbacks playing for the other team right now, and I got to tell you that those guys are actually doing well where they are right now.
Right.
You know, like that was a great trade. It just seems like it fit them both perfectly.
Right.
So hey, that's how it went. So dominant performances this weekend. Though I got to tell you, Arizona's on the map, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to pay attention to what's going on with those guys.
Murray's nasty for sure.
He
and
for
you got
sure is.
Hopson or Hopkins. You can't stop him.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think that's the sleeper if there ever one, you know, in the NFL right now, is to watch out for the Arizona Cardinals right now, because they are probably hard to beat. I would say they're pretty hard to beat. You know, Jets, of course, you know, took their loss like they normally do in the AFC East, so you know they're sitting at the bottom once again. But hey, man, Tampa did what they had to do again. Tom Brady just doesn't want to ever stop winning.
Yeah.
He's going to keep on going. But, you know, hey, great NFL weekend. I think it was great. As far as the world of college football, you know, my Gators, unfortunately, just fell short to the Alabama Crimson Tide, the #1 team in the country. Hey, look, they were losing 21-3 after the first quarter, and they didn't have the possession at that point if they had turned it over. So at that point, for them to be able to claw back and score, you know, not shut out, but take down Alabama 26-10, outscore them for the remainder of the game and come within a field goal of winning the damn thing. It says a lot about the Gators coming back in those last 3 quarters and their capabilities. So we look forward to their future. We'll see what they can do against Tennessee. Tennessee just won 56-0. Now the Gators got to take them on at home this Saturday night. So if they can dominate the dominant team, it proves something as well. And the #1 recruit coming out of high school right now is reconsidering taking Florida on as a possibility.
Wow.
We'll see what happens. UFC? What's going on in UFC?
Honestly, I have not been paying attention, truthfully. I swear. I saw Bellator, Davis beat Yo Romero. That's pretty interesting, but I've been so caught up with matchmaking and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get back yet. There hasn't been any super serious main events, so I'm a bandwagon jumper when it comes to big cards.
Okay.
So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, the world of boxing, they just
What's
mentioned
that?
that.
Yeah, the Contender. I've been loving the Contender. It's been really good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Boxing world, you know, Manny Pacquiao came out to say that he did not say he's retired, although everybody keeps thinking that he is. I don't know where they all heard that. He did mention that he's possibly going to run for president of the Philippines, but that presidential run may not affect the fact that he plans on fighting at least once or twice more. So he's not done just yet, guys. Until he makes an official announcement, you may see Manny Pacquiao back in the ring again. For better or worse, you may see him back in the ring again. And you got these heavyweight fights, you know, up and coming very, very quickly.
Has there ever been a president boxer?
No. No,
That's what I'm saying.
Vitaly Klitschko, you know, was talking about, you know, running for president of the Ukraine. That was, you know, a few years ago, and that was one of the thoughts behind why he decided to retire from boxing. But he never actually made the presidential run, all you consider. But he was the mayor of Kiev, you know, the time that he was actually fighting, just like Manny is the senator in the Philippines right now. So, you know, you had some government officials in the ring fighting,
Right.
just not presidents, not yet. That'll be something, though, right?
That'd be cool.
To see that kind of stuff happen. But as I said, heavyweight matches are fast approaching. You know, you got Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder coming up on October 9th. It's just a couple of weeks away, guys. And then beyond that, you're going to have Anthony Joshua taking on Alexander Usyk. That's also coming up here. Matter of fact, that's actually coming up sooner. That's this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check my dates now. Right? Now I'm thrown off. But I think they may actually be fighting this Saturday night. So that's coming up fast approaching. You're going to have the heavyweight belts. You're going to figure out exactly where they're going and how we move on in that division. Everybody's looking forward. Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant is also fast approaching to try to unify super middleweight titles. That's in November. Although Caleb Plant recently just had a positive COVID test. So not quite sure how that's going to delay the fights, if it's going to delay it at all, since it is so far out there. But hey, you know, some boxing stuff coming up for sure.
Nice.
Outside of that, man, you know, that's the world of sports, right?
Yeah.
So we went through our fight card again. Hopefully you guys got all the information. If not, go back, play it again, check out what we were talking about. We had Danny Castillo here as our guest for the evening. Hopefully you got to hear from Danny. And great fight card. We look forward to seeing you guys out on the next one on October 23rd. David, any recap, any last comments to make before we shut down?
If you seriously want to fight, reach out, you know. We're looking for the best, and that's our goal.
Right, good stuff. So on behalf of Armando Gonzalez, Gerardo Ramos, David Shore, I'm Mike Feinberg. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care. Stay safe.
We'll be right back.